Bernie's an American original, a man who has devoted his life to giving voice to working people's hopes, dreams, and frustrations.
After being practically invisible for the last 4 years, Barack Obama has come out and endorsed Joe Biden. Now, this was no surprise. It was obviously going to come at some point, and it made sense that he was holding his endorsement until it was clear who the nominee was going to be, as a way to not piss off the supporters of whatever candidates were left in the race. So now that it's Joe Biden as the nominee, now that Bernie has backed Joe Biden, Obama came out to also endorse Joe Biden. Now, I want to focus on one aspect of this endorsement, because in this 12-minute video of Obama's endorsement, he reaches out to Bernie Sanders voters and praises Bernie for the work that he's done. Now, while this is expected, it makes sense that he's doing this. The background to this, and to the reason that Biden's even the nominee, should be brought up by somebody here. So I know Obama's not going to bring it up, but I'll bring it up after this. First, here's Obama reaching out to Sanders voters during this endorsement.
Each of our candidates were talented and decent, with a track record of accomplishment, smart ideas, and serious visions for the future. And that's certainly true of the candidate who made it farther than any other, Bernie Sanders. Bernie's an American original, a man who has devoted his life to giving voice to working people's hopes, dreams, and frustrations. He and I haven't always agreed on everything, but we've always shared a conviction that we have to make America a fairer, more just, more equitable society. We both know that nothing is more powerful than millions of voices calling for change. And the ideas he's championed, the energy and enthusiasm he inspired, especially in young people, will be critical in moving America in a direction of progress and hope. Because for the second time in 12 years, we'll have the incredible task of rebuilding our economy. And to meet the moment, the Democratic Party will have to be bold.
All right, so I do have a second clip coming up about being bold. We'll get to that in a minute. Here, Obama is doing what he has to do rhetorically, at least. He has to, during the primary race, Bernie Sanders dominated with voters under 45. Even in states that Bernie lost to Joe Biden in, Bernie still won voters under 45. It is a big group. Now, yes, older voters over 45 are more reliable voters, but if you want to be able to defeat Trump, you need voters under 45 to come out for the Democratic nominee. So Obama here is attempting to, praise Bernie and attempting to reach out to Sanders supporters by lavishing this praise on Sanders. But where is the substance? So I'll get to some of or at least a part of the substance again in the second clip. But during this entire 12-minute video, no mention of Medicare for all, no mention of canceling all student debt, no mention of free public college, no mention of a Green New Deal. Now, we touched on some of those issues like climate change or the fact that students have debt, but didn't propose or didn't discuss the need to address those issues with real solutions. Now, I understand it's not Obama's campaign. It's on Joe Biden to push out those policies. But you can't act like this campaign has to be bold when it's not being bold. So, potentially behind the scenes now with these joint task forces with Bernie and Biden, their campaign staffers working together, maybe something will come out of that, but largely it appears to be symbolic. And I don't think anything's going to come out of it because we know the answers when it comes to policy. And the only reason none of it's getting done or none of it's in Biden's campaign is because of the special interests that are backing Joe Biden. That's it. Bernie Sanders has his support because of the policies that he backed. Joe Biden did not win on policy. He won on name recognition and misinformation about electability. So if Biden took on Bernie's entire platform, Biden would lose none of his existing support. But he's not going to do it because the people that he would lose are the wealthy backers, the corporate interests, the consultant class, the Democratic leadership. So Biden's going to stick with the status quo while pretending, at least rhetorically, to fight for more. Now, as I was mentioning earlier, of course, a very important piece of this entire thing is what happened before Bernie dropped out. So before Super Tuesday, a day or 2 days before Super Tuesday, you had Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, and Beto O'Rourke all back Joe Biden in a rally in Texas. Now, this didn't just come out of the blue. It's not just, it just so happened that, Buttigieg and Klobuchar and Beto O'Rourke all decided at once to back Joe Biden. No. Barack Obama was behind the scenes pulling the strings. Now, the most public aspect of that was with Pete Buttigieg, where Pete Buttigieg endorsed Joe Biden after talking with Obama as Super Tuesday looms. So Obama told, right here, Obama told Pete Buttigieg he should consider using his considerable leverage at a pivotal moment in the race. But he did not specifically encourage him to endorse Biden. But that was the obvious implication of telling Pete Buttigieg, you should use your considerable leverage right now at this moment in the race, right before Super Tuesday. So, Barack Obama pulling the strings behind the scenes to ensure that Biden nabbed the nomination. Also, this aspect of it, Obama reportedly convinced Bernie Sanders to drop out of the primary race. So they had about 4 calls. If you read into this piece, it comes from a New York Times piece. They had about 4 calls before Bernie dropped out. And apparently, Barack Obama had major sway in convincing Bernie Sanders to drop out when he did. And as Glenn Greenwald quotes from the New York Times here, Mr. Obama has been considerably more engaged in the campaign's denouement than has been previously revealed. He was becoming more agitated by the state of the race as Mr. Sanders surged and Mr. Biden slumped. Again, showing you how Barack Obama really feels. Now, some of the media, of course, is falling for it. Here's Anand Giridharadas, who I agree with a lot. He has a lot of rational takes when it comes to policy and what needs to be done and how to appeal to people. But he just quotes the New York Times opinion piece here saying, is there any takeaway from the endorsement then? Yes, Obama went out of his way to signal that he agrees with the party's shift toward a more progressive agenda. Yes, he did rhetorically. He said we need to be bolder. But what has he actually done to fight for that change? He fought against the one candidate, Bernie Sanders, that was actually trying to push for that real change. So actions speak louder than words, which gets us to the next clip here. So I'm going to play another piece of this endorsement, and I'm going to cut 2 clips together because, well, you're going to see why. Watch.
I could not be prouder of the incredible progress that we made together during my presidency. But if I were running today, I wouldn't run the same race or have the same platform as I did in 2008. The world is different. There's too much unfinished business for us to just look backwards. We have to look to the future. We have to protect the gains we made with the Affordable Care Act, but it's also time to go further. We should make plans affordable for everyone, provide everyone with a public option, expand Medicare, and finish the job so that healthcare isn't just a right, but a reality for everybody.
All right. Did you catch that? I wouldn't run on the same platform I had in 2008. A minute later into the video, we should push for a public option. That is the way forward in healthcare. In case you don't know this, flashback, Obama repeatedly touted public option before refusing to push for it in the final hours. This is an article from 2009. So during the 2008 campaign, Barack Obama supported the public option. It was in his platform. And actually, they have several quotes here. Let me read some of these out. So in 2008, Obama-Biden healthcare plan on the campaign's website, candidate Obama promised that, quote, any American will have the opportunity to enroll in a new public plan. During a speech at the American Medical Association, President Obama told thousands of doctors that one of his plans included in the new health insurance exchanges, quote, needs to be a public option. While speaking to the nation during his weekly address, the president said that any plan he signs must include a public option. Again, this is just to date these, First one was 2008, then 2009. Here, during a conference call with progressive bloggers, the president said he continues to believe that a robust public option would be the best way to go. Again, 2009. Obama told NBC's David Gregory that a public option should be a part of this healthcare bill. So he fought for a public option in 2008, and now he's saying we need to be bolder as Democrats. We shouldn't be running on the same thing that I ran on in 2008. So I support a public option. This is what I mean when I talk about empty rhetoric. This is just empty rhetoric. Oh, got to be bolder. Okay, what's your bold plan? Oh, the same thing you fought for 8 years ago, or longer than 8 years ago now. How does that make any sense? So this is the issue. Bernie Sanders supporters, and not even just Bernie Sanders supporters, 40% of the country doesn't normally vote. Many of those people don't vote because they become disillusioned by this two-party system, two parties representing wealthy and corporate interests. So to reach that 40% of people that Bernie Sanders was trying to reach, and reached a lot of them, to reach that 40%, you have to actually speak to their needs. You have to make promises to change, to improve their lives on a material level, ensure that they have health care, ensure that their student debt is canceled, ensure their wages are raised. Like, you have to actually offer something. So you can try the same strategy you did in 2016 and just shame people into voting for Hillary Clinton and see how that turned out. Or you can try a new strategy of actually trying to reach out and speak and encourage people to vote for you by offering something that you may not have been offering before. So until Biden and his surrogates like Barack Obama and others, until they actually do that, or at least until Barack Obama, Bernie, and others push the Biden campaign to support these issues, to get those younger voters, to get those people under 45, to get that 40% of the country, to get working class voters, then Biden's going to continue running up against a wall. Now, I say this again and again. There may still be enough anti-Trump voters that Joe Biden can win, regardless of reaching out to those people under 45. So it may not matter, but why take the risk? You might as well try and reach those people that don't normally vote, in addition to having those anti-Trump voters, as it would give you the best shot to actually defeat Donald Trump.